Alright guys, doing this video for a buddy of mine out there on the forums who's a little nervous about filling his first PCP air gun, so I'm going to show him how it's done. So we got our 4500 PSI SCBA tank right here. Got my fill assembly and all that jazz here. You always want to make sure you got a hose that's rated pretty high. This one's rated to 10,000 PSI, and as you can see I got the quick disconnect on there. Very easy. And we have the disco, so we're going to use this to fill the disco double right now, and let's get to it. A little above 1100 psi or so. So it's important to remember this gun does take a 2000 psi fill, not a 3000 psi fill. So we pop off our fill cap, take the quick disconnect on our tank, pop that on the Foster fitting, make sure it's nice and snug. Okay. Now as you can see, we have our bleed valve closed and we have no pressure going into the gun yet. So one thing I found is that when you do initially turn your valve to open it, it does kind of pop a little bit. Not pop, I guess, but it kind of slips into into the open position, but where it's barely open. So I'd like to keep a very firm grip on it, and I'll show you guys here so you can see it firsthand when it opens, and I can kind of feel it going now. Right about there is where it opens, and as you can see, we start getting air into the gun. Now one thing I like to do is you can always tell how much pressure you have in your gun because you'll hear that little noise of the pressure equalizing, and then you will actually stop. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, you'll know if you only open your valve a little bit that it's going to stay there. And as you can see, it's hovering right at around 1250 psi. So that's how much air we had in the gun. Okay. As you can see, the hose is pressurized, all that, but I'm not touching the valve. Okay. You always want to keep your hand on it just to be safe. That was just a demonstration, so don't freak out. And then we slowly open the valve. Let it slowly fill up to 2000 psi. Most valves you have quite a bit of control over this. There are some valves out there that actually, no matter how far you open them, they fill slowly. And then you can see we hit that 2000 psi mark. Close the valve back up pretty easy. And then we're going to bleed it. Bleed the tank. Close the bleed valve back up. Pull off the connector. See how much we have left. See how much air we have in it. And right up there at about 2000 psi. Very, very simple.